Hey guys, welcome in. We have got a pretty interesting scrim for you today. So I don't know if it's because it's the second day that they've all been in Texas. I think that has a little bit to do with it. I think that these guys are just starting to gel a little bit. But in this one, we are hopping on board with Scump as he and OpTic Chicago goes to battle against. They had one scrim during this day, and it was against the Florida Mutineers, and they went in. They were playing great. So if we're talking about the scrim overall, just to give you guys an update on how teams are doing and kind of what's happening, this was the first map, and it was by far the worst. I mean, they absolutely blew them out. It was 250 to 68. I mean, that's quite the shellacking. That's basically everything going your way throughout the course of a map. When it came to Checkmate, which was the second map, again, Checkmate is a map that OpTic has historically so far in this game not been very good at, and they won it 250 to 160, so they won it by 90, and that's a really big margin when it's a map that they're not playing great at. One map that surprised me, if I had to pick one of these five, the one that surprised me the most was probably the Crossroads. Again, they've struggled a little bit against teams with really good SMGs like the Dallases and the Atlantas on the map Crossroads, but they did end up winning. It was 250 to 233. They had to clutch up towards the end, but that was the one that probably surprised me the most if I had to pick one. After that was Moscow, and again, I think Moscow's probably their best map overall. Sure, they've dropped it. Like on Moscow, they got absolutely blown out by, I believe it was LAG, by Los Angeles Guerrillas, which was a little bit surprising, but still not a massive deal. But normally, I think it's their most consistent map. I think you'll see them try to play it a lot once the season actually starts. Then they actually finished with Raid. They won Raid 250 to 250 to 160, which again is a map that they've kind of been going back and forth on. I know we talked about it in yesterday's video. Probably would have figured they would have played a little bit better during yesterday's video on Raid, but it is what it is. So far in this one, again, this is, if you win 250 to 68, basically everything's going to go your way. And really, that's what you're seeing, right? So on P1, they got basically all the time inside of P1, and they had this bad spawn, right? They got this initial P3 spawn. They were able to push inside of P1. Once they were there, Scump pushed up forward towards Lights. He was able to get the left-hand side of the spawn, which gave them the left-hand spawns for P2. Inside of P2, they got the vast majority of the time in there. As it rotated over towards P3, they basically just hit mid-map. Scump hit over towards garages, and they flipped that out. Now they're getting all the time inside of P3. So literally, the kills, the map position, the flipping of spawns, everything is just going their way so far, and they're already up 120 to 11. So because of that, I know it's a little bit early. Normally we do a little bit more analyzing, but this isn't going to last very long. So let's go ahead. Let's turn up the team comp so you guys can listen and hear exactly what they're discussing in terms of strategy as we go a little bit further here in the first set of rotations.
Rails weak.
He jumped up. Hill peeking. Dead.
Rails dead. Rails dead.
I killed Hill.
One guy's on me. Yo, vet.
Dead. I'm pushing through.
Nice. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm hitting your top.
Square.
I pushed top green.
Havoc dead.
Top green. Wake dead.
Nice. More greeny or small?
Could they be behind?
Yeah, top green flash. I jumped out square.
I push all the way to lights.
I don't know. I think
I jumped out low square, yo.
Yeah, you're good. You'll be good. Turning around.
Yeah, behind us. One bullet. Tools dead.
Jump. One top green.
I think there's another guy.
Dead.
Nice.
Could be square.
Spawn there again. We're missing one.
I think
Yo, they spawn P3. They spawn P3.
Yeah, they spawn in the back.
In the back seizure. One shot.
That's last guy.
He's on the.
Yo, plat. One bullet. Two plat. Cole's one bullet.
I'm looking for seizure, guys.
Light street. Wait.
Oh shit! I spawned out.
On old dead. Top cat.
One shot in the back of me, seizure. One shot in the back of me.
Top cat dead.
Back dead. One on the back of me. Going lights.
One thing I find super interesting while I watch this and while I listen to them is they've really done a great job of shortening people's name. So when I noticed it when Scump got that kill up top, rather than saying one up top, I killed Awakening, 4 syllables, he just said I killed Wake. Right? It allows them to get more information out there quicker. And then instead of saying, I think it was Dashy said, instead of saying I killed Havoc or Havoc's by top caution or whatever, he called him Colt. So 1 syllable. I also noticed that when it came to when they were playing teams like when they were playing Atlanta, instead of saying BZ, they just called him Abe. Instead of saying Cellium, they said Cell. So I don't know. It's just one of those little things that I've kind of picked up on as of late because they haven't done it forever. And I don't know. It's just, it's a sound decision. Let's go. Let's listen back in.
One more back, to me. Outside bricks, brick slack.
Yo, two right. Fuck,
I'm saying
bro.
now,
There's
I'm
two
saying
They
right.
could spawn
Two
behind
right.
me.
2 top green.
Yeah, they spawn behind me. Teaser.
Then there's 2 top green. Right, I'll kill this guy
small.
square.
Square, weak.
One could be
Square, weak.
bottom mid somewhere. Bottom mid
Like
somewhere.
that.
See that
Bottom
top
mid,
Bottom
bottom
square
mid.
dead.
Nice, good job.
Three,
good job.
Bottom mid then.
Nice.
Yeah,
I'm getting
this is
green.
fun.
Where are you guys at?
There's
We're flat.
20 back left, I think. 20 back left, I
Yeah,
think.
could be back left.
Or
No,
trash,
green
trash.
spawns. At least one.
I have time right now, so I think you can push
Okay, I'm pushing lights.
Nothing trash. I have your bottom in.
In lights already,
Yeah,
Jerry.
cobble.
In lights already, one shot.
Come,
I have
wait.
your bottom in.
Close lights, Jerry, one
Green's
shot.
opening. Green's
Top
opening.
green.
The top cat dead.
Nice.
Nice,
Another
two,
one
one lights.
Lights, Jerry. Dead. More top
Nothing green.
green.
I'm on new.
Push me up.
You on time? Fuck.
Time Havoc. Oh my god.
Nice.
I'm going new
Actually
map.
pissed on.
Oh, lights. Wait, lights weak. Let's weak.
I'm in a
No.
corner new. You
Oh,
get
he
behind
just
green.
chowed? What the
There's two lights.
You want on new on me?
Try to get to Dill. Try to get to Dill.
Not doing
Good up,
shit.
cat.
In small.
That's not peeking, guys.
One shot small, bro.
I got him. One more in new. Just fuck. He just like snuck by or something.
All dead.
Yeah. Sunk through alley.
Bricks on me, guys.
I'm pitching
bricks
the
on
back with you, Matt.
me. Yeah. One's
Should go green,
In
Brandon.
small, in small Caesar. He slid
Both
back.
across.
Actually, let's hit this. Let's both hit this.
In the back,
Back
deep back.
Back right, wait.
Yeah, we're done.
One's on the back. And one's close.
Bricks dead.
More small.
There's
That's
not hurt right here.
He's dead. I'm
Small
one
back right.
left.
Small back right. Let's go back right.
Alley.
I spawned you. We flip. Let's go.
Alley weak.
Behind us.
Alley. He's close off.
We got him.
Nice job.
Nice.
Green now, green now.
Turn.
That right there, that's a pretty poor job. It is what it is. That's a pretty poor job right there from Florida. So just to run through this real quick, you saw as Scump was running from P1, he ran over here. He hit this ADOM building. And when they did that, Formal was able to help them. And he got a kill over here towards Awakening. There was also a person to his close right. He went up towards, they got 3 dead. And then as that was happening, Scump just pushed in towards P2. Last person was back here. But if you're Florida, once you die in those areas, if you're somewhere by this ADOM building, that's going to close off that back spawn for you. So you heard Formal after Formal died. Formal got this back spawn, and that took Florida, spawned them out over towards P4, and now they spawned out. But that's just a poor transition, right? Because if you're Florida, you have these back spawns, you're over towards P2. It was basically a 2-2 hit. So 2 hit up towards green, Scump and Formal hit down towards ADOM. And as they were doing that, I mean, I think that he said that this was Awakening. This is probably where you want Skies, right? That would be a much easier kill for Skies to get as a main AR there. But if you have that, you have one person inside of P2 and you're really just focused on these lanes. You have another SMG player in here watching bricks. That really shouldn't get pushed out. You would have somebody else probably up towards P2. One area that a lot of teams take advantage is as they leave P1, you saw Scump hit lights right here, which is this building. And as he hits lights, if there's only one danger zone, right? There's this opening right here once you leave lights. If you're able to run through lights, you can get behind cover here. And once you're there, then you can basically go either any of these directions here to kill that person that's in the back. But they didn't even push out that hard. All they did was just hit through ADOM. They got the 1 kill in the back. As the SMGs rotated through, they were able to pick up those kills. And the rest of this is pretty much history. So let's go ahead. Let's listen back into the finish here.
They're gonna play for pinches, bro.
They're pinching.
I flashed one bricks.
One
Right there. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah,
Colt, one shot. Going around small. Going back to small door.
I'll get you
One
small.
shot,
I'll get you
Colt.
small. I have
One more in
before.
small Caesar. Dead.
You went off this. Nice. You went off this.
Wait, where'd you spawn?
I'm
I
about to
spawned
push
back.
top
I
green.
spawned back.
Green.
Last guy's gonna be green. Last guy's gonna be green light. I have
Yo,
mid.
cat stairs weak.
In the back of me, slacks weak. P5
I'm playing this
boxes.
corner.
P5 boxes going small.
Making him away.
Nice. They're all over top green. All over top green. I'll guys pinch inside. Yo, pitching small.
One shot top green.
Small one shot.
Let's get it, man.
And there it is. That was a nice little streak there from Scum towards the end as he went 22 and 13. Wasn't even his biggest map. If you look at the numbers overall, Dashy had 3,800 damage, Envoy had 3,600 damage, Formal had 4,300 damage. I don't think Scum goes through. It doesn't seem like he's going to cycle through the kills there. But overall, it was just a really good map for them. And it brings up the question, does that Texas host have anything to do with it? So they swept the Hardpoints against Florida, which is something that earlier in the year they weren't quite doing. So we'll just keep an eye on it here over the next few days. Are they able to keep this up? Does it return to normal where they're like splitting maps, or is this where they go on their run? I guess we'll find out. If you guys are new around here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Leave a like if you don't mind, as it really helps promote the channel. And with that, thank you guys so much. We'll see you in tomorrow's upload.